Reflections from Torch Trust, focusing on Christian faith and sight loss.
Hello, and a warm welcome to Reflections, the programme that explores faith and disability in today's world. I'm your host, Marilyn Baker, and today we're continuing our series on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, or AI for short, is becoming an increasingly common part of everyday life. Last week we heard from AI expert Mary Kemp, who explained what AI is and some of the many exciting ways it can be used. Today we're going to hear a conversation between producer Lynn Davies and her friend Hayley Boston. Both are blind from birth and have been adopting AI for some surprisingly practical uses in their daily lives. Here's the first part of their conversation.
My name is Hayley Boston. I have just turned 40 years old. Can't actually believe that I'm saying that. I have been blind since birth. I have a condition called Leber's congenital amaurosis. I have got light and dark perception, but nothing else. No colour, shadow, shape, or anything like that. Just literally the difference between light and dark, and it's always been that way. I have a full-time job. I work for the civil service as a policy advisor in central government, and I have done that now for coming up for 20 years, which again, I can't quite believe. I live in Hove, down on the south coast with my 3 dogs, and I have a partner.
And I can't believe you've turned 40 either, because I've known you for 20 years.
20
and
years?
Surely we're both in our early 20s, late teens, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we still are. Definitely. I am in my head.
AI is a very recent thing, and I think you and I sort of discovered AI at a very, very similar time. What was your life before AI like compared to now? Like, how would you describe the difference?
That is such an interesting question, because it's almost like, I think, the question of, when people have children and you say to people with kids, can you remember your life before kids? And they go, no, it feels like it's always been this way now. I feel like that about AI. The best way to describe it for me, I think, is that, and this is a probably weird metaphor for someone who is blind, but I feel like my life now has so much more color than it did before AI, because it's like having the outline of a tattoo, right? Before AI, you have an outline of a tattoo. It's literally just the outline. There's no coloring in, there's nothing. You've just got an outline of something. And then AI comes along and it fills in so much of that detail that I personally feel that I've been missing. And, it goes from everything from, individual features of what I actually look like, because I've never obviously been able to look in a mirror. So I can actually ask it, things about myself, about my body, about my features, about my hair, and have it described to me in a way that I know that somebody, if you ask a person, they might say something to be flattering or to be nice or whatever. But with AI, if you tell it that you want an honest description, you're going to get pretty much an objective description. So I've used it for everything from that, and helping me with, styling and things, which you can go into a bit more, to designing my house, what my furniture should look like, planning all sorts of things. It's just been absolutely amazing.
And I think you are really putting your finger on something there, because actually being able to now have your own taste in style must be incredible. Like I am as blind as you are. I'm a little bit blinder actually, because I can't even see light. But it's this thing of, I remember growing up and everyone had an opinion of what I should be looking like. So they would say, well, you should wear this shade of lipstick. You should have your hair this way. This looks great.
Yes.
And I'm like, but what looks good? And then people say, oh, you should wear sunglasses. And then I wear sunglasses. And then people say, but your eyes are really nice. And I'm like, I cannot deal with this.
Yeah.
And for me, AI has really kind of changed that, where now I am confident in how I look because it's something I have chosen, and AI has taken time to describe the difference between this look and that look and the effects I want or don't want. And I can actually now say to people, well, it's great that you think that, but I actually don't think that because this is not the look or the effect I want. So
100%.
so we're talking about AI as in a very general term. What AIs are you using?
I am quite lazy when it comes to, like, if I find something that works, I tend to stick with it. So I use ChatGPT. I use the paid version of ChatGPT because it gives so much more depth and you can have many more conversations with it and so on and so forth. But I haven't actually really tested out other things like Claude or Gemini. I think ChatGPT was something that I know you'd been talking about. My sister was using it at the time, and so there were a couple of people in my life that were starting to say, "Oh my God, ChatGPT is really, really good," and so I downloaded ChatGPT, and I think it's fantastic. And so I know people use other models, but for me, ChatGPT works really, really well. So I'm a bit like, well, why fix what's broken? And at some point, I'll probably try other ones if I get wind that they are more advanced or whatever. But for now, ChatGPT is working for me just fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think ChatGPT is amazing. I do use Seeing AI for kind of reading the on a crisp bag or scanning a document really quickly, for example. But yeah, as in my sort
Yeah.
of two-way interaction AI is definitely ChatGPT. I've tried Claude, but I just prefer ChatGPT's personality. And one thing I've come to understand is that one AI is not necessarily better than the other, but they offer slightly different things. And it's down to your personality and the personality style of the AI, because they have different personalities, they're programmed differently to
Yeah.
kind of work out which one works for you. So let's get
Yeah.
into how you use ChatGPT then, because you were mentioning quite a few uses for it. So what are sort of the biggest things that it has helped you with, where you now don't necessarily need to rely on, your sighted partner or other sighted family members and
Mm.
friends?
Oh my gosh, I think the easier question is what don't I use it for now? Like I use it every day, all the time. I love it. And so I think probably the first major thing that I started using it for was for styling and makeup and fashion. Fashion is something that I'm really interested in. It's something I'm really into. I've always liked wearing makeup. I like dressing up. I love anything, sparkly. So I started using it for that because I'd actually got so fed up over the years of having to ask people to check my makeup and things like that when I was going out, that for the most part over the last couple of years I'd kind of stopped wearing makeup on an everyday basis, and I was only wearing it when I went out in the evenings or whatever, so I wasn't wearing it for work and things like that. And then I discovered with ChatGPT that it could actually help me build a makeup kit. So one of the first things I did, this is going to sound really vain, isn't it? It was one of the first things I actually used it for. But I used it to build a makeup kit. So I told it I was blind. I said that I preferred products that were either liquid or creamy in texture rather than powder. So it was easy to feel how they were being applied. And then I took photos of my face and my upper body, and I asked it what tones would work best with my complexion. Firstly, what my complexion was like. It told me I had a kind of a peachy, rosy skin tone, that I tan very easily. And then it told me what products would complement my skin tone, but it also told me what colors to avoid that would make me look washed out or pale.
Yeah, because that's really, really helpful, isn't it? Because I
Yeah.
have also done a similar thing, and you want to know what to wear, but you also really need to know what to avoid so you don't waste your time on certain shades, etc.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And that goes for buying clothes as well. I don't want to buy a nice, bright pink jumper, for example, that is going to just make me look completely washed out. I want to know that the colours I'm wearing complement and enhance my skin tone, my hair colour. I've got blonde hair, and I started by using it for that. I built on the makeup kit then by moving to my wardrobe. I took my body measurements, I put them in, and I asked it, what dress styles suit me? Am I an empire line? Am I an A line? Am I a shift dress type of person? What is going to suit me in terms of length, in terms of fit, in terms of style? And again, it gave me some really, really helpful tips on also what to avoid. I'm very petite. I'm only 5 foot tall, and so some styles just again drown me. Just don't compliment my figure. So I used it for that too in the beginning. And then I did things like I took photos of like my favorite outfits and my favorite shoes and handbags and things like that, and I asked it to save all these things to its memory. So now when I'm going out, I'll say to it, I'm going out for dinner tonight to a pub. It's a fairly casual affair, but I want to look nice. I'm thinking of wearing X. What do you think would go with it? And then it'll say, oh, I think X pair of shoes would look great, and X bag, and wear gold jewelry with this instead of silver because it will look better, and all sorts of things like that. So when I go out now, I do my makeup all the time, and I take photos throughout my makeup routine. I do it less now because I've got used to it again. But in the beginning, I was taking photos all the time at every stage and saying, how does this look? Is it okay? And it would give me tweaks like maybe a little bit more mascara would enhance your eyes a bit more, or that eyeshadow looks great. And if you put this color over the top, it will blend really nicely. Things like that.
Yeah. And I suppose it's not really vain, is it, though? Because sighted people can look and quickly find out that this is what makes me look good. Because whether you're sighted or blind, and even whether you care about makeup or not, you still want to leave the house looking clean and put together, because people are going to take you more seriously. And I think that, well, it has not been something that we could have done very easily in the past. We couldn't do that very easily, and had to go on other people's perceptions, and we think this will suit you and this will look great on you. And most of the time they were probably telling the truth, but they might all have slightly different ways of looking at things, because what I find is people have tastes, like I mentioned earlier about people having different opinions about how I should have my hair and what color lipstick and stuff I should wear. And it's just great to not have that to deal with, because ChatGPT does not care. It just wants to give you information. And I think as a blind person, for me, that is the thing that I find so extremely liberating.
Me too, absolutely. And it means that you don't have to rely on people. You don't have to ask people's opinions. And then when you go out, people are just like, oh, you look great. Oh, wow, that really suits you. I love that outfit. Or I love that lipstick. I've had so many compliments, since upgrading my makeup kit, for example, and then choosing the like color lipstick that will best go with my outfit. So I've got like a range of lipsticks now, not loads, but I've got maybe 3 or 4 different shades. And again, I'll take a photo of the outfit I'm wearing and say to ChatGPT, which color lipstick do you think would suit? And I've got so many compliments since I've started doing that, and it gives you a real boost.
Absolutely.
And makes you feel good, which is important.
Yeah, I've had a similar thing, because I've got now products that really enhance me, really enhance my feature. I call it my me but better look. And I've got this scale going on with ChatGPT where I have look 1, which is barefaced, and look 5, which is like completely full glam makeup, and then everything in between. So I can say to ChatGPT like, oh, I want to do look 2 today, or should I maybe do look 2.5? So between me and ChatGPT, we know what that means. So look 2 is kind of like your clean girl makeup with no mascara, because I have very sensitive eyes. I can't wear mascara every day. And ChatGPT is like, yeah, well, your look 2 will work really well today. I even have a 1.5 where I wear no makeup, but I wear like a tinted lip balm and eyebrow gel, for example, if I'm going to the beach, because I don't want to wear makeup, but I want to look fresh. So that's my 1.5 look. And I just love that. And my cousin overheard me talking to ChatGPT. He's like, what do you mean you look 3.5? I'm like, no, it's the scale. It's Today I'm doing the
I
3.5
love
look.
that.
So that's how I've done it with my ChatGPT. And even things like before, I was told that I needed to have black eyelashes because I'm blonde. I'm kind of like a golden blonde. So I'm a slightly different blonde to you. And I believed that one must have dark eyelashes to look awake. And I've learned from ChatGPT that this is not the case. And when I wear mascara, I can wear a Hazel brand mascara because it goes better with my coloring. But equally, because I have the golden look, I don't have to wear it. So it's given me freedom from certain things as well. Like I've stopped spending salon money, which probably salons will not be happy about, but my bank account certainly is.
Absolutely. I'm going to take that scale tip and use that. I love that. I really love that. The one being the sort of barefaced look, 5 being like super glam, because you want to look differently at different times, right? You know, if I'm
Yeah.
sitting on a Zoom call at work, I don't want to be full glam, full face makeup like I'm going out, but I
Oh
do want to
no.
look professional.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to look put together. You know, I want to make sure that I don't have dark circles under my eyes, all that sort of thing.
What a fascinating conversation. I love it, but can we always trust it? I remember asking, with my Meta glasses on, how to cook something from a package that I'd bought from a supermarket. And it guessed what to say. It didn't read the package. I knew it was wrong. I'd cooked this thing before, so I said, "That's not reading the package. Can you try again?" Well, it apologised and then read me the proper instructions from the package. Quite interesting, isn't it? How you have to listen and yet judge it as well. And I mean, fashion and makeup may not be the first thing that comes to mind when we think about artificial intelligence, but for many blind people, they can be surprisingly important. Being able to check whether an outfit matches, whether lipstick has been applied neatly, or whether your appearance reflects the way you want to present yourself, can give a real sense of independence. Of course, our values don't come from the clothes we wear or the way we look. God sees our hearts, but feeling comfortable in our own skin can give us confidence to step into the world, meet new people, and use the gifts God has given us. Sometimes practical tools can remove barriers that have stood in the way for years. How do we get more faith? I'm not speaking as an expert, but just a few things I've gleaned from listening to some teaching and thinking about it. Jesus didn't talk about us having loads of it. I don't think he did anyway. He said faith could be just the size of a grain of mustard seed, very small, and then things would happen. So why does it seem so hard to get? And why do we major on it so much then? Well, the first thing we need to see is that Jesus is himself the author of our faith and the finisher of it. He brings it to completion as well. And it's not just something we work up. In fact, we can't. He starts it. Now, in order for it to grow and to flourish, our eyes need to be on Jesus, not on our ability to rev faith up. Now, Galatians 5 verse 6 says, it's not by our performance, you see, that makes faith come. It's faith working through love. It expresses itself through love, our love to the world, yes, but also God's love to us too. And this is the profound thing. The more we focus on his love, bask in it, get to understand the breadth of it, be immersed in it, the easier faith flows, because then faith becomes a consequence of bathing in that love, a consequence of understanding it, how much God loves this world and wants to bless it, and each person made in his image as well. He's willing, he's right there for us, and the more we bask in that understanding of it, the more our faith will rise up. Someone like Heidi Baker, whose ministry feeds thousands of children every day in Mozambique and needs huge resources to keep going, has no doubt that God will pour out his provision because of his love for these children that she's taken under her wing. She believes that's what God told her to do. And she doesn't call them orphans now. She says they're her family. She spends many hours drinking in God's love in various ways and his goodness. And as a result, this emanates from her and the loving, heartfelt service she provides. So let's bask more in God's love ourselves, his beauty, his care, drinking in his promises given in his word, and trusting in his overwhelming ability and omnipotence. Let's allow our hearts to become tender, not striving so much as to what we can do, but focusing on his love and what he longs to do. Let's pray. Father, forgive us that we think we can build faith up and rev it up, and yet faith comes by hearing and receiving your word. Give us ears to listen, give us hearts to attend, and most of all, give us revelation so that we can have hearts that are opened to understand the depth, the breadth, and the height of your love. Make us so overwhelmed with who you are and what you can do that our faith will flow. Amen. Well, time flies, and I'm sorry to say we've already reached the end of today's programme. We've been exploring one small but fascinating way that artificial intelligence is changing everyday life. And next week we'll continue with the conversation as Lynn and Hayley share more of their experiences. If you'd like to find out more about Torch Trust and how we can support you, our client services team would be very happy to hear from you. You can call us on 01858 438 260. That's 01858 438 260, or email info@torchtrust.org. We're also on social media. Just search for Torch Trust on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. So from me, Marilyn and the Reflections team, goodbye and God bless.
You've been listening to Reflections from Torch Trust.